Yeah, man, it's Worldwide Sounds Records, the pregame party mix podcast on 17 podcast networks international. We rocking. You know the vibes, man. Dynasty Radio, Monday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., man. It's the one only DJ Chasing that YouTube, DJ Chase TV. We got the A. I'm gonna start with A&R, the manager, the behind the scenes, the day to day Karma management. What's shaking?
Hey, how are ya?
I'm all right. How you feeling?
Good, good. Just doing, just handling business. A little out of breath because I just ran up the stairs. My apologies.
It's all right. It's all right. You just get warmed up. Don't be nervous. I want you to get comfortable. Normally, everybody else is doing the work. So now it's time for you to show who you are.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or
But yeah, thank you for having me.
not a problem. Okay. First and foremost, I do a little icebreaker. Tell the people who you are and tell the people what you do from your point of view. Who is Karma and what does Karma do?
Hmm. Well, Karma wears many hats at the moment, but no, I have a couple other partners who are producers and artists at the same times. And they are owners and they're partners. So I've been doing a lot of the A&R work, like you said, some of the management stuff too. But Karma is a group of people that came together basically just because we were good people and we wanted to network and we didn't want to be around any kind of like toxicity. Like there's a lot of that I find in the industry, and some of the guys came to us and they'd already experienced that, so they wanted just something new and fresh and something that was full of life and energy, and just to mingle with good other hardworking artists that have positive attitudes and positive outlooks on this stuff.
Of
So basically
course.
that's how we came to be in the beginning, was just from that angle of it, and then it just started to become a company. And we started with the management angle, but I've noticed that Karma's got a lot into mostly into like the A&R aspect of things,
Mm.
more so than the management. Not to say that we're not still a management company, we just have been doing a lot of hands-on work with the artists that we have currently, just to get them up to date, sharpen their skills, get to know them more, because Karma's only been open for about a year now, right? So most of us are still just kind of getting our footing, so to speak, if that makes any sense.
Nah, it definitely does. And what in because I know from you like I didn't that you do wear many hats. I'm in the support group and the group chat, and what I'm saying you brought me some clientele. You know what I'm saying on that level. As far as what is I'm because I'm gonna use manager because like the way you do in a musical sense, you are a manager. So what inspired you to be a manager and to do what you're doing today?
Um, Honestly, it all came from my brother, LBM, Legendary Music, LBM, or Legendary Music is his Instagram. But
Yeah.
it came from him. He was working with a lot of artists. He's a producer, and he just came to me and he said, "Listen, I'm working with so many different artists that I can't really handle like the workload. Like there's so many different things that go with it." And he asked me, "You want to start a company?" And that's how it came to be. So I'll be honest, I got to give him the credit for the idea, because he came to me with it rather than me just sort of being like, "Hey, I want to jump into music business," right?
Yeah, yeah.
um, but I was listening to he would send me a lot of his beats to get my approval on them first before he would post them or before he'd send them to any artist.
Mm,
So that's basically like how it came to be.
mm.
But I've always had a creative ear, I guess you would say. Like I can recognize talent, and I can hear a sound and I can be like, yeah, that's fire. Or I could hear something and be like, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I've always, I guess, had those skills. I just never really put them to this business,
Mm.
so to speak.
Got you, got you. And how did you get the name Karma?
Karma's my religion. I live, breathe, and sleep. Everything is karma. I've always believed you do good to other people, and good's gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
And not even in a way where like it's a selfish, like I'm only being good because I want good to come back. It's because I believe that that's what the world needs, and I believe that that's genuinely who I am deep down inside.
Of course.
Um, yeah, and then as you get older, you start to realize, hey, you do get a lot more with sugar than you do vinegar. So karma is my religion.
Definitely, definitely. And since COVID, I know Toronto, Canada, and Canada is a lot different than the States. what has been like the hardest part of being a manager since the COVID has hit?
Geez, I would say the number one hardest thing is that I can't network outside of the internet at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
there's no shows going on. There's no, like, I can't sneak my way into some doors like us
Yeah.
managers would do, like
Yeah.
that would that I think would be the hardest part, because I think, and not that I'm not proud of my team, because where we're at right now, we're really shaping and molding and coming together, and like we've got
Yeah.
some fire projects coming up that everybody's going to go insane over.
Yeah.
But I could only imagine where we would be if that was still able to happen, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that I think's been the hardest part.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely.
And what types of acts do you actually manage? 'Cause I know you do more. I know you do more than just rappers. What type of acts do you manage and consult with?
Well, a few of my artists are like able to do a few different genres, right? Like, there's a couple artists who can do some punk stuff, and there's some artists that are R&B, and they rap, like. But Karma, for the most part at the moment, is mainly hip hop. But we do have some R&B guys, we do have some punk guys. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's like trap or conscious. Man, the artists that I have right now
Yeah.
geared toward conscious hip hop.
Yeah.
Holy crap, these guys are fire. Like, I
Yeah.
can't stress any more than that. Like,
Yeah.
fire. And
Yeah.
we recently accumulated some new talents that
I
blessed
see.
us. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And being a manager and what you do, particularly what you do and how you motivate artists and you motivate the producers, you motivate everybody that's in the team, you know, not even just being COVID, but overall, what's the hardest part about being a manager? Like, what's the overall scope of it? Like, what's the hardest
Everybody's
part?
personalities. That's the hardest part. No, I'm joking. Learning how to work with certain people, because you can't be, I feel like you can't have the same mind frame going into working with and each one of your talents. I have many producers as well, so I don't just have artists, I have producers as well.
Yeah,
But going into each one of them, you have to know how to speak to them, especially when it comes to explaining to them that maybe something isn't the greatest, or figuring out a way to talk to them in a way where they'll understand, and they won't necessarily, for lack of better explanations, have hard feelings about what you've had to say about what they just showed you, right?
yeah, yeah,
That I think is the hardest part. And bringing people together, being the glue that holds them together. Those spots we're still filling, by the way. But
yeah,
being the glue that keeps everybody together, because
yeah,
if everybody doesn't know who each other is, then you're not going to come together as a team. So, and not everybody has time to be like, all right, okay, so this man just came into the group, let me go check him out. Nobody really did that.
mm,
So the hardest part was, like, I'd have to individually sit down and show each man who everybody else is, so that they know, man, we also actually, no, we don't have a woman currently. We did, but we don't currently.
got you,
um
got you.
yeah, that's been the hardest part, I think, for me.
Yeah, and once again, I know you're a very selfless individual. What's some of the pressures that you feel like you have as a manager? Like, do you feel any pressure, and what kind of pressures do you have?
Yeah, of course. The pressures, can I even do this? No,
Yeah,
I'm joking. But the pressure is to, like, these guys they're relying on me, like, their hopes and dreams, and they're looking at me for guidance, and looking at me to, like,
yeah,
be their backbone, so to speak, right? Like,
yeah, yeah,
so that carries a lot of weight.
yeah.
um it's a big burden. It's exciting and it's thrilling, and it keeps me on my toes, and it's challenging me every single day to do better and be better. But yeah, that would be the most pressure, I think, I feel.
Yeah, and one thing I want to ask too is, how do you feel like, because the music business has definitely changed over the years, especially the expectations of artists, and talent. How do you feel about, like, to dealing with an art? Like, what would you do, and what do you do dealing with the artist who doesn't even want to sell music but just want Instagram likes or likes on social media?
First of all, I wouldn't even fuck with someone like that. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah,
I tell them that I'm just gonna have to go with how I feel on this. I'm not even gonna talk about it in a wide spectrum. I wouldn't even bother with someone like that, because
yeah,
if you're not about the music, and if you don't have passion and drive, and if you
yeah,
don't really love what you're doing,
yeah,
you're never gonna get nowhere.
yeah. Got you. Do me a favor. Hold your
So
phone. Hold your phone in one spot, okay? Because it's
sorry.
moving a little bit. Yes, all right. I don't want your phone to keep moving. Yeah. Perfect. 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 Yeah. I'm sorry. Finish saying.
Um, yeah, if you don't have passion and if you don't really want it, and if you're not really in love with your own music and really believe in yourself, it's a waste of everybody's time right off the jump. So
Yeah.
the likes isn't what it's all about. I mean, for sure you want to have a fan base and you want to build that, but Instagram isn't the only place to do that. You know what I mean? Like there's lots of ways to have presence.
Thank you for that one. And being from
Yeah.
Canada and being in Toronto, Canada, do you feel like you have to like your artists? Do you push up your acts to have to break in the states, or do you feel like you know what, Toronto, Canada, Vancouver, Montreal, Ontario is enough?
Oh man, Toronto's got such a hate scene for other Toronto artists that
Hmm.
it's really hard to just stick to here.
Yeah.
Um, hopefully we can play our part to change that. I'd love to see that. Like, I'd love to see that change here because it's really difficult for people, right? Um, Everybody's tearing each other down over here, and it's stupid. But with that
Hmm.
being said, no, you gotta Canada's a big country, and yeah, you want to market your music over here, but you definitely got to outreach everywhere else. Like you want to break through into the US, you want to break through. Right now, we are doing Karma UK too. We haven't completely launched that yet, but we work with a lot of artists out there too, collaborating and stuff. So like, it's important to get your music heard not as many places as possible because you don't want to overexpose yourself or work too hard. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But be strategic with like where you pick and where, I guess from a management point of view, where your artist would best sound in like
Hmm.
which areas and how their style is and their flow is and their cadence. All those things matter on where you market them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you can't just stick to Canada. You definitely want to go outside
Okay.
also.
Yeah. And you know what? How do you deal with artists? I know I asked it similar to question, but this one's a little different. You know, how do you get frustrated when artists have certain expectations that you can't meet, or do you or you just just deal with it, or just coach them through it, like because a lot of artists today, they have a lot of expectations, especially like I said with social media. They just want you to be, they just want likes, but they don't actually want to do the work. Do you how do you deal with the, yeah, how do you deal with the expectations that they have, that because you're not a miracle worker, you're not a bank.
No, definitely not a miracle worker. Fortunately, I haven't come across anything that's too harsh in that sense where like they were completely unworkable
Yeah.
and completely unrealistic. But we did have a few that were part of Karma for a little while that just thought they were better than what they actually were.
Yeah.
Um, that were thinking that I should have focused mainly on them instead of having any other person that I worked with,
Yeah.
which really is impossible because I mean, if I'm trying to make money at this, one person isn't gonna make you famous.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as much as like I would love to say, yeah, it's gonna happen right now, this guy's gonna take me to the top. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. So you gotta, from a business perspective, you gotta have other options, right? You
Of
gotta
course.
make sure that there's a small, good variety.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely diversify.
yeah, some people can be definitely unrealistic, but I haven't had too big of a problem yet, I'll say.
Yeah, and now we almost out of here. With my show, I'm big on advocacy. I'm big on education. How would an artist approach you, not on the negative side, but on the positive side? How would an artist or a creative approach you, or a producer or a DJ approach you for management or consultation? What's the correct way to approach a manager?
I would say by email, send an email with
Mm-hmm.
uh, the project you're most proud of that you've already done. Introduce yourself a little bit. But in order to contact me, you've got to be prepared to work with a team. You have to be open-minded and you have to, want to be part of a family. It's not even a team. My guys are family, we're we're it's karma. It's karma
Yeah,
familia. So yeah, if you're gonna, I think that would be the appropriate way. The DM things, man, we're spammed so many. It's ridiculous how many DMs I got, and it's so standard. Like you could tell it's written and sent out to 1,000 people. Like that is the most
yeah,
distasteful way, I think, because it's not personal at all, right?
Yeah. And
But
it's
yeah,
not
that's
and it's not professional either, you know. So my artists
no,
out there,
not at
you
all.
got to email correctly. Come correct in them emails. No DMs. You got to come correct in them emails if you want to network. You know what is your goal for karma management? What's one of your goals for karma management?
Um, I'd like to see my producers get some placements. I just had an opportunity to do that. We haven't landed any yet, but I did send out a bunch of their beats. So I'd like to see them land some placements. That would be my first step. Second step, I think, would be build maybe a bit of a group out of the guys that I have and start trying to market them towards maybe I'm going to shoot for the stars here, maybe kind of take them to some labels, see what we can do.
Nice.
I think that would be the direction we would take.
Got
Um,
you.
maybe we need a studio. Man, I cannot stress this to artists and teams enough. Get your own studio because
Yep.
it is frustrating as hell when everybody's running all over the place doing different studios and different engineers, and then it all comes back and it just doesn't come together, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's something for sure.
And you know, an artist. This is my one of my second to last question. How would you how should I say this? What advice do you have for an artist that wants to approach a manager that doesn't even have a budget? Because a manager is not supposed to facilitate, not supposed to pay for your career. How would an artist come to you if they don't have a budget?
You're putting me on the spot here because I've had a couple artists come to me that are still with me right now that didn't have a budget, and I put my money on the line. So I'm not really sure to answer that question.
It's all
But
right. Be as honest as you possibly can.
um, to approach me without a budget is impossible right now because I'm at capacity and I can't take on no more talent.
Yeah.
But I would say that it's important to have your own budget because if there's something that you disagree on with your manager or with your A&R or whatever the case is, you have a budget to take that chance on your own. Because any artist, if you believe in something enough, you should never let anybody tell you that it's not anything. I think you should take that chance on your own. So it's important for everybody to always come with a budget, to have something in mind as a backup plan, even at the worst case scenario, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I appreciate that piece of advice because you know I get a lot of listeners on my podcast and a lot of young talent always hit me up at DMing me, of course, and you know they always asking me advice, so I want to get that good advice. And last question before we get out of here is what do you look for in a music act for piece of talent? Like what do you look for? Like what do you look for to get them to join the movement or sign on to your company?
Personality is number one. Other personality is number one for me. You've got to have. I need to see your personality. You got to shine. You got to. For me, anyways, in my personal opinion, personality is number one. But bars, you come on. You got to be able to write. You got to come with bars. But then if you come with the cadence, the personality, the bars, and the whole nine yards, holy fuck, that's how you blow my mind for sure. And that's definitely what a couple of my guys are doing at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't wait for you guys to hear this cipher we're building. Man, this is gonna be insane.
Yeah. All right, and we out of here, man. Plug whatever you gotta want to plug, man. And we can't give them no more than that. Plug. They gotta go. They gotta go to your Instagram and all that for the cipher. Miss
Yeah,
Karma, yeah,
exactly,
give you
exactly.
plug everything you got going on.
Yeah, so the cipher, we've got a verse on our page right now in my feed. We're building a website. I didn't even mention that. We're building a website right now, massive one. Gonna be a one-stop shop for everything karma. But just hit me up in my DM if you have any questions or if you want to collaborate with anybody on my team after you do look through the feed. Everybody's always down to work. But yeah, you can check us out there for sure. Everything you can see, everything that there is to see about karma is on my page.
Yeah. There you go. There you go in the world. You have it right here. First and foremost, all my artists, all my fans and supporters who want to know how to get it to a manager. This is international, so I hope you guys tuned in. Karma, thank you so much. Once again, give your social medias again one more time. Give your social media, your Instagram, and all of that.
Oh, sorry, it's Karma MGT.
Yeah.
But we're just working with Instagram for now. So at Karma MGT is
There
the
you go. There
Instagram
you
name.
go. Yeah, man. This Worldwide Sounds Records own DJ Chase on the pregame Party Miss podcast. on 17 podcast networks, man. On Dynasty Radio Monday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is Karma. Thank you. Salute. We're gonna stay on, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna chop it up after this interview. So, you know what I'm saying? Once again, it's DJ Chase, YouTube, DJ Chase TV. What else? I got fleetdjchase@gmail.com if you want those interviews on the audio version. And this interview will be up. New episodes weekly. DJ Chase. Let's go. DJ Chase TV.
Let's go. You're now in the mix with the Worldwide Sounds Records. Every day. DJ Chase. Lock it in. You know the vibe.